Yeah, hi friends. So it's Harpreet Singh again back with another video. So I have with me Shilpa, who have been accepted at UCSF as a foreign dental student,
Mm-hmm.
or like as a foreign
For trained dentist,
dentist,
yeah.
right? So we will be talking about today one of the important, I
Mm-hmm.
think, piece of document or information which you have been asked in the CAAPID application process. That's SOP in full form is the statement
Statement
of
of
purpose.
purpose, right?
Like learn about statement of purpose, Shilpa. Your experience like going through CAAPID
Mm-hmm.
process, like what you were able to understand what's a statement of purpose is.
Clearly defines what they ask for, why you did dentistry, and why you want to continue dentistry here in United States. So, what is the purpose, or why you passionate, or whatever? Like, what are you gonna answer in it?
You have to talk about
Yeah.
dentistry. You have to talk about definitely like your other work as well, either is volunteer work related or surrounding the dentistry, I think, process or career you have been. um, but again, I just
I
like
yeah.
to.
I would like to add here that don't like start making stories, because most of the time I have seen that candidates are just writing stories about it. Okay, that's good, you should, but don't forget that you have to mention, like you have to cover, like why you want to continue dentistry, or why you want to go to like pursue that dental field here in United States, and why overall why you choose that career, being a dentist. And many candidates are like try to make stories, and so don't get lost in just making stories. What you have to cover is that why you want to pursue dentistry here, and overall why you choose that career. And second thing, just don't copy paste your resume, because most
Mhm,
of the candidates like start like what they did in India
mhm.
and what they started doing. That's you should cover in resume, not in like in statement of purpose.
And again, I remember, I think when you were kind of going
Mm-hmm.
through that
Mm-hmm.
process, again the same question as I think you have been about, like, okay, this is kind of an essay question. And
And how
obviously
to
like
start it.
when I think someone asks you to kind of describe yourself like in a very open format, it becomes very difficult from where
Mm-hmm.
I should start. And I can understand like many prospect student would be going through that as you have been going through. But that's, I think, the
Mm-hmm.
information you were able to get while
Mm-hmm.
you were kind of getting to trying
Yeah.
to draft an SOP.
So I know, because when you start writing some essay, the most difficult part is the first line, like how to start it. So don't concentrate on first line when you're starting like your SOP. Make a draft, what points you want to cover in it,
Mhm.
and then when you start writing it, ultimately you also come to your first line also. When you start, okay, how the like flow of the
Mhm.
story going, and now what you want to like tell in the first sentence. So like I would say that.
So yeah, I think you have raised, I think, very good point about
Mm-hmm.
because when there is an essay question
Yeah.
talking about yourself, because we can have content about, if we have read some story we have a content, but sometimes it gets very difficult to describe yourself. So I think and many people are stuck on like how from where I
Yeah.
should begin this process. So you have, I think, made a very
I think,
interesting
yeah.
point about like make points
Mm-hmm.
of like the things which you think is strong points or maybe weak points to address,
Or maybe
because
I can
right.
give you like a hint from where to start. Okay, but work on the last. Just think about the time when you thought about to come in dentistry.
Mhm.
Just like take some time and think about it. Okay, when was that? When you just thought of it, okay, I want to be a dentist, maybe when you was a kid, or maybe after, or
Mhm.
maybe sometimes you just started the career and then you realized, okay, that I want
Yeah.
to go there. Like
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, that can be kind of one of the starting points to think about. And again, like when you're making points,
Mm-hmm.
um, just think about those points at this moment, like what's your purpose in dentistry. Maybe it can be like a childhood dream,
Yeah.
or you realize maybe like later in your secondary education that you want to enter into dentistry for some reason. So obviously that can be one of the point. And then how you kind of pursued your passion, either there are obviously several different, I think, milestone you would have achieved in India and US, then obviously your all those strong points will be there, and everybody have challenges. So those
Definitely.
challenges can be kind of one other points. I think thinking like from where to start is to first make points about all these aspects of your passion for dentistry, and then you can think about like how I can make it sounds kind of more convincing, so a person can see that okay, this person is very much passionate about dentistry and the profession, but you have to start from somewhere. and
Mhm.
and I think one of the suggestions you are giving is just make points,
Yeah.
and then think about how you want to kind of make that
Make a
flow.
story. Make like
And
it's.
right.
I think the second question I encountered is like,
Uh-huh.
what should I cover in SOP? Like, okay, I got
Mhm.
it. I want to show like I'm passionate. Or okay, I want to pursue dentistry in India. Then I came here and I want to like get some advanced education here. But what should I cover? So, do you have some like tips?
So yeah, I think while you were kind of showing your draft, again, like as a layperson, I'm not a dentist. So again, just to let you know, I'm an attorney. Obviously, I will think in a different format, because legal declarations and like briefs we file in
Mm-hmm.
court is a very different thing than like having a story. Obviously, we are telling a story of our clients, but one, I think, tip I can give about, obviously, I think your first part of the statement of purpose or essay question you're answering, it needs to be kind of little bit rememberable, like
Mm-hmm.
people can able to understand, oh right, it's an impactful thing, and it's people can remember, because there are so many applications. I think thousands of applications like these officials, admission officials are going through. So yeah, it needs to be little rememberable, but the main thing, what I think, like in any kind of essay question like that, so you should again focus on your points first,
Yeah.
and then like start working on how you want to derive or
Maybe.
to
Sorry
or
to
to come up
interrupt
with
you.
it. Oh,
Maybe
sorry.
there is like something you did which is like, I would say, which is great. Maybe you did something like in India or maybe in here. So mention it. What
Hmm.
kind of strong points you have, mention it in your SOP, and don't forget to give examples. I think that's
Right.
that's that's really important. Just don't say that okay, I'm a passionate about dentistry, and don't say with words. I think represent it with your like work,
Right.
what you did, how they can like understand okay, you are passionate. All are saying,
Hmm.
all applicants are saying that, or all applicants want to pursue dentistry
Hmm.
here, but why they choose you? So what you did like extra something like to like go something extra to just continue dentistry here, so you have to show that in your SOP.
Yeah, I think that's also very effective, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
In again, when you're talking about, I think, a story, you give a glimpse of what you have been went through. Because if you keep on talking about, okay, I have these challenges, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, I overcome these challenges, and now I am like a winner out of that situation. But again, you have to kind of show little bit glimpse of that situation, then only a person can able to appreciate like your fight with those challenges.
Yeah,
So examples are
definitely.
always great, like when you're talking about any story. Without examples, I think it would be vague and difficult to understand, and it would be just like I will say, like over appreciation of your challenges sometime, which is not well taken.
True.
So moving forward, there is another question, I think, which probably I saw when you were kind of going through
Mm-hmm.
your process of
Mm-hmm.
SOP, is about from where you should kind of get feedback, like, because
Yeah,
you have drafted something,
really good
but
question.
but but you don't know like if it's a good story or not, or maybe you're missing something. So where should you seek help, or is it needed to seek help?
Yeah, definitely help is, I would say that okay, take help, because sometimes when you keep writing something, you got stuck in that some. I think sometimes you need feedbacks. So take feedbacks from your friends, from your family members. It doesn't matter if they're dentist or not, because
Mhm.
I took help
Right.
from my husband who is attorney. I think sometimes it's good, because if you go out of profession also, because you get some extra points, like because sometimes as a dentist you are not able to think that thing, and some other people, when they are reading your like SOP, they were like, okay, I know you as a person and you also did that, why don't you mention it? So just like take help from your friends, from with maybe if your professors, like from your Indian schools or whatever, like your previous school
Mhm.
is. So take help from that, and if you are working with some dentist, yeah, ask help from that too.
Yeah, I remember. I think when you shown me your draft
Mm-hmm.
of SOP, like obviously, I think it's sometimes difficult for me to understand because I'm not from the dental background. But as just as a lay person, obviously I can see what you're trying to kind of say
Say
out
out
of
it.
these
Yeah.
words, and then I can see, okay, did based on my opinion, does it sounds a good flow, or there is something missing which you can obviously talk more about, or maybe just have added more examples about your particular experiences. Because again, one thing you have to remember, as we have, maybe if you have went through bachelor's masters in US, it's I think even in professional school, like I went to law school, so the admission officials most of the time they are not coming from that same background,
Yeah.
so they are not dentists, so or they are not hygienists, or like from that same professional backgrounds. So you have to think about, they are like outside of that industry. uh, Obviously they are looking at admission process over the years with that same information from different student, but again they are not from that profession. They are not kind of internally ingrained day and night within like technical terms of
Yeah.
dentistry. So one thing you need to think about, why it's maybe helpful to talking with like different people, either you talk with professionals or non-professionals, to just get perspective as a lay person. If I read it, how it sounds.
Does it sound like me? Because I was like, okay, okay, I'm showing you draft. Does it sound like me? Does it? I'm representing
Right.
myself.
Yeah, that's also another thing, because I think sometime people may try to, again, it's the same story like with most of the admission. Sometimes people think, okay, means this person is successful, so let's like what you have in your SOP. So you should be little caution about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that you should, I think, show your SOP to any other lay person, either
Yeah.
professional, non-professional, so at least to get feedback about your story, if there is something missing or not. Okay, let's move forward. There are like couple of other points we just like to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the thing is, so there is an SOP which is you will complete that essay question within your CAAPID application.
Yeah.
That's a general question which will go to like all the
All the
schools, your
schools,
responses. And then there are like bunch of questions which
like
usually
supplemental
it's
questions.
right, supplemental questions, which are some of the question, maybe I will say like one or two questions out of that whole supplemental questions maybe can be similar to statement of purpose,
Right.
if I'm right. So those questions can be about the school,
Mm-hmm.
about your strength weaknesses, like why you like this school, why you want to be at this school. So it's similar, the content remains the same, most of your content of statement of purpose, but
But
again,
yeah, you
like
have
you
to address that question. Just
right.
don't copy paste your statement of purpose there, because some schools I
Uh-huh.
know ask like their own, like they have own like supplemental question. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
why do you want to come to our school?
Mm-hmm.
Like why do you want to choose this school for your like advanced program or your advanced studying education in dentistry?
Right.
So then obviously then don't just copy paste your statement of purpose there,
Mm-hmm.
just address that question, like why you would choose that school. So I think that's because sometimes even I have seen like
Mm-hmm.
a few of my friends, or I would say like candidates, some do that. Don't do that, please. Just don't copy paste that like SOP everywhere.
Right, because the purpose, or like you are addressing in SOP like your passion for dentistry
Maybe the
in
points
in
remains the same, but
right.
you have to like address that particular question.
So basically I will say, like, your tone needs to be very different. Like, while you're using those same points, but you are addressing actually that question. Like, for example, someone is asking, like, okay, why you are a best candidate for this school, like what you like in this school. Obviously you will talk about the school and then try to
Like, yeah.
match your strong points. For example, okay, this school have, like, in terms of clinical experiences, you have these many great things at this school, and my like career have been about learning different aspects of
And what you did,
dentistry.
like something like that, which
Right.
matches with the school like priorities. So like match yourself with that school and tell them that how you're gonna be the best candidate.
Right. So again, you are picking few points from statement of purpose, but that's not like, you are not copying and pasting statement of
Yeah.
purpose, because that's a very different question. So that you needs to be mindful of. So Shilpa, so sometime, like, students and you have also, like, some questions about, like, okay, this is an essay question, like how much it matters, like, in your whole application process.
Yeah, because when I was writing SOP, I was like, okay, if my SOP is good, I'm going to get some invites, because that's a myth,
Uh-huh.
that your SOP should be like so like great, then only schools gonna like
Uh-huh.
ask you for the interviews, or they're gonna give you invitations. I think that's a myth. It's just one part of your application, so don't pull your hair just to
Mm-hmm.
write SOP. Okay, obviously write it in a good way, but also concentrate on the other factors too, like on your resume, on your LORs, and your other
Mm-hmm.
things like your experiences. If you can get some
Mm-hmm.
experience here in United States, I think overall your resume, your application matters, not just SOP.
Yeah, just very important point to remember about, because I think student would be just thinking about that for like
Yeah,
2-3 months, and then not concentrating about,
yeah,
like,
that's
other
that's happened.
aspects of
That's
your
happened.
profile. So you have to give due weightage
Hmm.
to it, but you should
But
not be kind of
also just don't
overworking on it.
stop like other things and
Right.
just start writing this SOP and just concentrating on only that part. Don't do that, because when even it happens, because you are like, okay, what
Mm-hmm.
should I write? What should I write in SOP? That's only a one part. So just make sure that you're also concentrating on the other things, because most of the time what happens, I think the candidates start writing SOP
Mm-hmm.
during
Mm-hmm.
like January or February. So also start concentrating on LORs, because it takes time
Yeah,
to like
which we
approach the
will.
people and ask for LORs. It takes time.
Right, which we will obviously discuss in
Mm-hmm.
detail in the next video. And so just one last question, it just came to my mind. So in terms of, obviously there are many
Mm-hmm.
students who are reapplying. So
Yeah.
there is usually a question about, okay, should I use my SOP, a same SOP, or should I change it, or is there any significant things I need to do, or rewrite my SOP? So, like, what your view on that is?
I think in 1 year you are not going to change as a person. So if you're going to use that same SOP, that's fine too. But if you think that okay, you missed something in your like previous SOP, and now you think that okay, I have something else to mention,
Mm-hmm.
but I maybe forget to mention in the previous one,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I can write like a really good one this now, then yeah, definitely do that. But again, it's your one part of your application, so it doesn't matter it's
Mm-hmm.
your same SOP or you're rewriting it. The thing is that are you able to convey the message to the like the reader, like what kind of person you are and why you want to pursue dentistry here, and what you
Mm-hmm.
did like in your life to like go other challenges, or you
Mm-hmm.
have like done in your country like in dentistry, and why you want to come here and why you want to like do dentistry here.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very important. I think it just depends upon what was included in your previous one, and now if there
Yeah.
are any kind of additions you were able to make.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you gain some experience, or maybe you
Maybe
have
yeah, you
more
thought that like
experience with
okay,
dentistry.
maybe I can write now really good, or maybe I have forgot to mention that things,
Right.
or maybe I skipped. So yeah, rewrite it. But if you think that okay, your previous one is good, then yeah.
So again, it's coming back to, don't pull your hairs
Yeah.
for this, because this is just one part of it.
Yeah.
There is whole lot of other things which
And
need to be
even
looked at.
I would like to mention one
Yes.
thing more here. So sometimes what happened when I was writing, you were like, okay,
Mhm.
what kind of vocabulary I use? Should I like extraordinary use some words? Don't do that. The thing is that it just English is like your conversational thing,
Right.
like your language through which you are just conveying your message. So just don't need to write like or use some extraordinary vocabulary words just to impress the other. They are not judging you for your English. They just want to see like what kind of person you are.
Yeah, because you have already given TOEFL exam, so that
Yeah.
that shows your obviously, I think the conversational aspect of the
Mm-hmm.
language and also the written aspect. So again, this is not like one of the tests to like impress. It's just a conversation through the story you are trying to do to show that how much passionate you are about
Yeah.
dentistry
So
and
just
about your
concentrate on
challenges.
that part instead of like using some like beautiful words, I would say.
Okay, so I think you have got a lot of information
Mm-hmm.
about statement of purpose, but obviously there are still many questions
Mm-hmm.
you might have. So if you have any questions, you can mention in the description, and Shilpa will try to answer
Yeah.
those questions. And I think you should have gained uh, some knowledge about sharing your
Yeah.
experiences about
Mm-hmm.
SOP. And I think it turns out well the next upcoming CAAPID cycle for this year. And see you in the next video with a different topic, kind of addressing again the CAAPID cycle. Okay, thank you.